Jurassic World Dominion has finally been released in theaters. This was one of my most anticipated movies of the entire year, and unfortunately, it is very mixed among the fans and critics. So I'm going as far as to say that this is the worst in the entire franchise, and it currently has the lowest tomato meter in the entire franchise. And I'm here to finally give you my thoughts. And I actually love this movie. Like, it's my favorite one since the original. And before you start saying that hype is blinding me on this, it's not actually. I was looking for problems during this movie and I did find a few. So I think we might as well just get the problems over with, so that way we can talk about the positives in this movie. And I think you already know one of them, that being the locusts. Now, I don't think the locusts are terrible. There were many moments where they were actually pretty frightening. Big, weird creatures are always going to creep me out a little bit. But the idea behind it is just not really that good, and it kind of overshadows the dinosaurs a little bit. I think that Blue should have been in the movie more. She was a really important part of the previous movie, Fallen Kingdom. And one of the main reasons that I was so excited for this movie is to see more of her. And she's only in about 15 minutes of the entire movie, and I just wish we saw more of her. And the villain is also really weak. I won't spoil who it is, but just know that he's not a great villain. It's not like he's all terrible. He does have a few good moments, but he's just mainly an overall weak villain. Now let's move on to the positives. The main reason people are most likely to come to this movie, and that is the action. Now, if the action isn't good, then most people aren't going to like this movie. And thankfully it is. There isn't as much action as, say, something like Jurassic World or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. But the action is so good in here that I really didn't mind it. Every action scene in this movie was so suspenseful and exciting, and it's probably some of the best of the entire franchise. This movie's suspense is really good. I wasn't really sure who was going to make it out and who wasn't. Another reason that the people are likely to come to the movie is the characters. Now, I love almost every single Jurassic Park and Jurassic World character. I've been a fan of this franchise for like 4 to 5 years, so these characters really mean a lot to me, and I'm really happy to say that the Jurassic World characters are the best they have ever been. They are funny, great in the action, and they are really good in the drama and everything. I also liked seeing some of the other characters that from the previous Jurassic World movies. I won't spoil who they are, but there are a couple familiar faces from those other movies, and whenever they were on the screen, I really liked it. Now, the characters that people really want to see are the old characters. Now, did they get them right? Yes, they did. They are really, really good. It's pretty much like they never left. As soon as Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler have their first interaction with each other, it feels like they never left the Jurassic franchise, even though it's been 21 years since we last saw them. And the interactions between the new and old cast are some of the best of the entire movie. Those are the moments that get the most laughs out of you, and I could honestly watch a full-length movie of that without getting tired of it. It is so good. The story is also good. It's honestly kind of similar to the Lost World Jurassic Park in many ways, but it is done way better than Lost World Jurassic Park, in my opinion, at least. I wasn't a huge fan of the Lost World Jurassic Park, and the story definitely wasn't its strong suit, so glad that it was done better in here. This movie's story kept me thoroughly engaged, and I was really excited to see what would happen next. Unfortunately, though, the subplot involving the old cast is kind of mediocre. It's not that the cast is bad, but the subplot that they are put into is not that strong. It is really slow. It's definitely the slowest parts of the entire movie, and I kind of was just sitting there waiting for the main plot to keep going. Now I need to talk about the score, and I usually don't do that in these types of reviews, but I cannot pass up the opportunity to talk about a Michael Giacchino score. He understood the assignment perfectly for a final installment in a huge franchise that spanned almost 30 years. conveyed pretty much every emotion perfectly with his score. There were so many moments of his score that were calling back to the original Jurassic Park and Jurassic World scores, and it just gave me chills all over. So yeah, this is definitely another win for Michael Giacchino. Now, before I sum up my thoughts about this movie, I want to talk about how I feel about this movie overall as a finale to a huge franchise. I think that it's a pretty satisfying ending to a franchise. It certainly wasn't what I was expecting from a Jurassic World movie, and there were moments that I thought could be executed better, but overall, I like that they took this franchise into a different direction. Overall, even though it wasn't what I was expecting, I still think that it's a pretty good finale to a huge franchise. So overall, Jurassic World Dominion has a few problems, and it's not a perfect movie by any means, but I do think it is the best movie in the franchise since the original. I was very satisfied with this final installment, and I'm giving Jurassic World Dominion a 9 out of 10. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll have more reviews for you coming up this week, so stay tuned for those, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
It's electric. I'm lost in your eyes all the time.